that Michael is from positive Philly, and you got nothing positive out of what he just had to say.
How typical. Jeff Skversky, welcome back to the show. Good to have you.
What's happening, fellas?
Well, I'm already trying to use my crystal ball here to look at the Phil's future, okay? And what's this new playoff going to look like for them? Are they going to this long layoff once because they're going to get it? What a magic number of 1. What's it look like? Are they going to be rusty? Is Trey going to be swinging out of the zone? And I
Boy, you're scared. If you're scared, get a dog.
I don't see it.
If you're scared, get a dog.
I will say, if
Jason.
they can get past the NL Division Series and they get hot in those 3 games, they have a really good chance to win the World Series. But that's what I'm skeptical about. What do you see? What's your crystal ball
This
show?
is a World Series team. It
On
has
paper.
been the last 3 years. What team is going to show up? We don't know. Nobody knows.
I know.
And there's the debate over that first-round bye. It's all baloney. All the teams that had that first-round bye last year, other than the Phillies, did just fine. What team's going to show up? We don't know. But this team should win a World Series, right?
Should.
They're built
on
for it.
paper. And Jeff, like last year, you go out in the first round when the Mets get hot and get you. So you had the bye last year. So if you're Rob Thompson and Dave Dombrowski, are you studying everything you did last year and saying, we'll tinker with this, we won't do that, we won't work out, we'll work out harder? Because there's going to be enormous pressure on this team based on what happened last season.
At the end of the day, this team just has to play. Just play. But the biggest concern to me is not all that other stuff. It's not even the bullpen. It's really the starting rotation. Because you don't have Zach Wheeler. Aaron Nola, what are you going to get from him? And then what? So Christopher Sanchez, he's been fantastic. What is going to happen with this rotation? Are they going to have a game or two? And then you talk about that lineup. So those are my really 1-2 concerns with this team. It's so hard to predict what's going to happen, obviously. But this Phillies team, look, they're the best team, in my opinion, in baseball. I think they're better than the Brewers.
Wow.
I do, too.
This is the best team in baseball. But it is time to put up or shut up.
I know.
This Phillies team needs to win.
Because don't you agree, bigger picture, that if it doesn't happen this year, and it is an early exit, it's time to break up the band.
Well,
and it's time
to some degree.
But how would you even do that?
Well,
But
you
because
wouldn't
if you
bring
go
back
out 2 straight years quickly, obviously your nucleus isn't good
But
enough.
those contracts, there's nothing to do with those contracts.
Sure, well, it's not just you're not going to get rid of Harper and you're not going to get rid of Turner, but you got a question then. JT Realmuto
Gone.
Is Castellanos
Gone.
here next year? Is
Trade.
Ranger Suarez here next year? You bring up Crawford. You start to bring the kids up. You start to bring up the
Would you
the
like
painters.
maybe they'll move the team? They should move.
Well, no, like is Alec Boehm here next year?
Let's talk about this postseason, all right? Before we start talking about next year, because they've already lost in your head. They've already
I didn't
lost
say
this
that.
series.
Don't imply.
I don't know if baseball will allow this, but I have a great idea to stay fresh.
And that is?
Let the crowd in. Let the fans in during the workouts. Let them
Get the
be
atmosphere,
there
the vibe.
for like an inter-squad game. I don't know if baseball will allow that sort of thing, but Phillies fans would show up.
They're overthinking it. That's overthinking it. This team, they're professional
It
baseball
just keeps
players.
the juju going.
I understand. And look, the Braves did that, I think, a couple years
they?
ago. Not with the fans, but they had these like mock games,
Yeah.
and they were doing. And the Phillies, I think, had umpires last year during the bye and
Yeah.
all this other stuff. At the end of the day, if those bats and your stars go cold, and the starters don't play well, it's over, right?
And so much of the playoffs, Jeff and JC is about, you mentioned starting pitching, but it's bullpens. And last night, Duran coughs up his second save in 4 outings. Okay? And it's not only Duran coughing up his second in 4 outings, it's a bullpen. Robertson's been good. Wasn't good last night. Kerkering still scares me out there. And you know as well as I do, even if starting pitching's good, in the playoffs, you're going 5-6 innings.
Sure.
So you need 3 to 4 innings of relief pitching, and that's what's good. And look, to Dave Dombrowski's credit, it was Kimbrel, it was Estevez, and he went out and got a guy in Duran who's been lights out. You can't blame the back end right now. But it's the Robertsons, it's the Banks, it's the Kerkerings to get to that point.
But if you,
the Phillies want to wait because of the bridge to Lidge.
But
they don't have that.
But my thing is, if you need those other guys, you're in trouble. In my opinion, in the playoffs, you need your starters to go deep, and then in this case, you need Strom and Duran, and that is it. If you're getting into a situation where you need Robertson to win you games, you're in big trouble.
Well, you need him to get to Duran.
Well,
but I don't think you need that. I think Tanner Banks has been pitched really well. Strom has pitched really well. That's it. And then you get to Duran, and you're done. That is it. And by the way, look, think about this. I know collectively they have one of the worst ERAs in baseball as far as bullpen-wise, but when you look at this, they've only lost 3 games the entire year when trailing or when leading after 8. They've only blown 3 saves all year, right? So they've been great.
The starters going deep is old school baseball, and that game I feel like last year the Dodgers had openers. The Mets did it. The Yankees did it. World Series teams did it.
5-6 innings is all you're getting. Let's go to Rob Thompson.
Rob
on
Thompson.
The bullpen.
Yesterday, I think Robbie was just rusty. He had 6 days off. Kirk, I think it's executing his slider. I talked about it last night after the game. He's just not getting a lot of swing and miss. So he's got to do a better job at that, and I know he will.
So you wonder rest or reps? What, as far as these,
Rust versus rust.
I mean, for these relievers, I don't know. I think they could use a couple days. We'll see what happens. All right, here's our go vote question of the. How concerned are you on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being we're doomed, 1 not at all. We're right in the middle. Up, we just went down a little bit. Starting to worry.
We're starting to teeter a little bit.
Yeah, you guys think that's fair for a 6? Or where are you?
I'm nowhere. I'm not even on the thing. I'm not
Wow.
worried about this team.
Wow.
Give me a team.
You're Switzerland here.
Well, wait till
Yeah.
I get to the Eagles, right? Like, what's there to worry about? Like, is there a team that's better in baseball than the Phillies right now?
Jeff, I agree with that, but what were you worried about at this point last year?
Nothing.
Exactly. And what happened?
Everything.
I don't remember.
Short memory's good sometimes.
We'll be back with a little bit more wild card talk here. Eagles coming up as well. They're pretty banged up, it seems.
Yeah,
We
banged
found
up
out some
squad.
things. Yeah, so be a part of our show. You know how to do it. There it is. Back in a moment.
We're concerned with the Phillies having to play the Mets, then the Reds in the playoffs because they've had so many problems winning in New York all season long.
Not really concerned about either team. I think we have the Mets number now, and the Reds. They're a good team, but I think the Phillies got it over them.
John Kruk.
He's working on the playoff beard, too.
I know, but we don't have the Mets number. Until we beat them in the playoffs, we do not have the Mets number. I am deathly afraid of this team because they can catch lightning in the bottle. I mean, look at their lineup. It's stacked. And I find it even shocking that they were struggling for so long. I don't want to see Soto come in here. I don't want to see Pete Alonso come in here. Jeff, I know you're with me on this one.
And I don't want to see those Mets fans come in here
Yep.
and take over Citizens Bank
Yep.
Park, which happened a little bit earlier in the
Yep.
year. Remember some of those earlier series,
Sure.
especially at home? The Mets' best team in baseball until June 12th. If there's any team I'm scared of, it is the Mets.
Yeah.
And the Mets, by the way, may not even get into the playoffs,
Right.
but that is the team that I am deathly afraid of.
Here you go. Okay, so only 3 teams get in here. And right now, if the season ended, it's Cubs, Padres, Mets, with the Reds and Diamondbacks on the outside looking in. A lot to be determined here. I mean, a lot.
5 games to go, and,
Yep.
and so you look at the brackets, and so fans know out there, let's assume the Phillies get that number 2 seed, and Milwaukee's the 1. The Dodgers will play the lowest wild card, which right now would be the Mets. So the Dodgers would play the Mets, the Reds, or the Diamondbacks.
Right.
The Cubs and
Padres.
Padres would play
Yep.
for the right to play the Brewers.
Repeat of the 1984 NLCS, because my brain is filled with useless facts. So go Reds, and I guess go
Although I don't,
Diamondbacks.
I don't want to play. The Reds pitching is sneaky good.
Yeah.
They in a short series, but they don't have the playoff experience, and I think you have to say that. And just so fans know out there, so I checked. The Mets finished with 2 at the Cubs, 3 at the Marlins.
Yeah.
The Reds play the Pirates for 2, 3 at the Brewers.
So they're away from Citi Field the rest of the season.
Correct.
Okay.
The Diamondbacks finished with the Dodgers and the Padres, and you really have to look and say, Jeff and Jason, what are those teams playing for? If the Brewers have locked up the 1 seed, if the Padres are in and they want to set their rotation for the postseason, who are they going to play in those games as those teams battle to get in?
I agree. And look, there could be some dangerous teams. We saw what the Mets did last year to the Phillies, and that was, questionably just embarrassing what happened to the Phillies last year, and the Mets got hot. Having said that, there is not a single team other than the Mets that I am afraid of in this playoff. And the second team I'm most afraid of is the Phillies. I'm actually afraid of the Phillies.
I know.
Are
Which
they going to
version?
show up and be the team we expect them? But I'm not afraid of the Brewers. I'm not afraid of
Not
the
even the
Reds or
Diamondbacks.
the Diamondbacks.
You know, thinking about 2 years ago, I'm not either.
No.
So Sunday has the potential. Then, if it comes down to the last game, and I'm sure it will in some ways. Every game starts at 3:05 on Sunday.
Correct.
Gotta love that.
Correct.
So you talk about a couch potato day with the
can't
NFL.
scoreboard watch, yeah.
I mean, we're all just watching baseball.
Eagles,
There's not
Bucks
enough
have won.
screens in
Yep.
my house for this.
And the American League is wide open as well. Has there been a bigger disappointment than what the Detroit Tigers have come down
Collapse.
the stretch?
And you wouldn't expect
Unbelievable.
that from an A.J. Hinch
Well,
team.
it's like the
at all.
Mets. It's kind of the opposite of what really what the Mets are doing right now when you look at what the Tigers are doing.
By the way, speaking of rooting against the Mets to keep them out, root against the Astros because that team always has the pedigree. I'd love to see them miss the playoffs.
Look
but
at the job Cleveland has done this
Yeah.
year, too, passing the Tigers. They lose their all-star closer, Clase, for
Yeah.
the season.
Yeah, and weird.
they have caught the Detroit Tigers, who we conceded midseason were heading for the World Series with the best pitcher in baseball in Skubal.
And look, this wild card thing is great for baseball. It's exciting, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at the top teams in both leagues to say those teams are in the driver's seat to get to the World Series.
If you look at the NFL playoffs, so if you're a wild card team, like you're a team coming to the link to play, you're not going to win the football game. In the playoffs, if you're a wild card and you get in, steal a game on the road, and suddenly the series
a
shifts.
chance.
You have home field and you got a chance.
I will say baseball will have a major problem if a top seed goes down again after the layoff, after the bye. I think they're going to really have to consider changing the format if it happens again. It shouldn't be happening this way, and I know baseball is a different game, but let's just hope it's not the Phils.
But didn't Bryce Harper say the other day that he kind of thinks this is all baloney?
Yeah.
I mean, that they actually are looking forward to rest. Obviously, Harper's sick right now, so he'll take some extra
Right.
rest. But look, at the end of the day, they're professional baseball players, and they could probably use an extra day. And I get it. It's about rhythm. It's about timing, consistency in baseball, more so than football. But look, they have to turn it on when it matters most, and that is to win that World Series.
The story for last year's playoffs was their approach was wrong. They were swinging out of the zone. We haven't really talked about the approach, the offensive approach this season with this team, so I have hope.
And the other guy that has to be mentioned is Trey Turner. The couple of extra days off will help the hamstring. But I'm telling you, Dave Dombrowski, Rob Thompson, all their analytics have to say, what did we do last year? We're not going to do that this year. We've got to have a different mindset, different focus to avoid what happened in 2024.
It's all on the hitters.
Agreed with
right?
you.
Like, it's
Agreed.
all on the hitters.
No
and
question.
I like what Dombrowski did. He brought back Rob Thompson. He brought back really everybody and said, it's on the players. We have $300 million guys.
Yep.
Up and down this lineup, it is on you. I mean, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, really nobody really showed up in the playoffs
Yep.
against the Mets.
Nope.
It is on them
Yep.
to figure this
I will
out.
not blame Rob Thompson. We should write it on. I will not blame Topper if they lose
You wanna ink
over and
that?
over. Yes, because it's on the players.
You write that
Can
down
you
while I
sign
give people
that,
the phone
please?
number, please.
Will do.
215-915-PH. Handwriting, spelling counts.